from the Chris Communications Broadcast Center in the heart of downtown Corpus Christi.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. We have new information out of Wimberley. Hayes County officials have released the name of a Corpus Christi man who was found along the banks of the Blanco River. 42-year-old Randy Charba was found on Saturday among the debris. A search team recovered his body near Bluffview Drive in the Wimberley area. He's pictured here with his wife, Michelle Carey Charba, who also died in the flooding. And 2 children are still missing from the deadly Memorial Day weekend flooding. They are Charba's son, 6-year-old William Charba, and 4-year-old Leighton McComb. Altogether, 9 victims of the Blanco River flooding have been identified. And the Charba family released a statement today saying, while we as a family have only begun our grieving for Randy, we ask everyone to continue to support our efforts in finding the last 2 children who have yet to be found. And we continue to be strengthened by the outpouring of support from so many during this incredibly painful time. And it is day 2 of the trial of a man accused of killing a convenience store owner. Today, jurors heard from the 2 police officers who responded to the scene first. Daniel Garcia is accused of shooting and killing Ben Mustafa in April of last year. Today, the officers described what they saw when they walked in. They say Mustafa was fighting for his life and his daughter, Amanda Rodriguez, was screaming. Garcia is facing a capital murder charge. If convicted, he faces the death penalty. There are 2 other suspects in the case. They are Del Victoria Cavazos and Arturo Navarro, who are still awaiting trial. And a man accused of killing his mother's boyfriend was denied a bond reduction this morning. Onassis Martinez is facing a murder charge in the death of Richard De La Rosa. Investigators say the victim was shot in the back. De La Rosa was found last month in the driveway of a home on Rock Island Drive. Witnesses told investigators there was bad blood between the 2 men. Martinez's bond remains at $650,000. An alleged ring theft has the attention of police and they need help identifying him. The man asked a Walmart store employee if he could see a diamond ring from the display case. After the employee handed the jewelry over, the man ran out of the store. These surveillance photos show the guy before and after that incident. Now, the suspect was last seen driving off in an older model tan Chevy Suburban. If you know who he is, you can call Corpus Christi Criminal Investigations Division. That number 886-2840. And the search for 2 men who escaped from a New York prison has expanded from Canada to Mexico. Investigators are questioning a prison employee as a possible accomplice. The woman who worked with inmates tailoring clothing knew 49-year-old Richard Matt and 35-year-old David Sweat. She hasn't been charged, but it's believed the pair used hidden maze of walkways as their path to freedom.
There's so many tunnels, all the attics, all the catwalks. It's a big maze.
They use that maze.
They use the maze. They know exactly where to go.
New York State Police say they have more than 150 leads on the case, and several law enforcement agencies are working diligently to follow up on all of them. Oscar Pistorius, the double amputee Olympic athlete, is scheduled to leave prison in August after serving just 10 months for killing his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp. Her mother says that's not long enough and he should serve more time. Kier Simmons reports Pistorius may have to go back behind bars.
Prison officials are saying Pistorius will be released on parole in August. He was only sentenced in October.
Is a maximum imprisonment of 5 years
for killing his girlfriend, model Reva Steenkamp. Speaking in December, Reva's mom told NBC News she does not accept his remorse.
When you've killed my daughter, to say sorry is not enough.
Pistorius, once known for breaking barriers as the first amputee to compete in the Olympics, was convicted of culpable homicide after tearfully pleading he hadn't meant to kill Reva, thinking she was an intruder.
Before I knew it, I'd fired 4 shots at the door.
But the family still question his account.
He's got to pay for what he's done, but you can't shoot 4 times through a door in a confined space that the person can't get away, and you know with those bullets they're going to die.
And in November, prosecutors will return to court to argue Pistorius should have been convicted of murder.
So while he's set to walk out of the prison gates on August 21st and will then be under house arrest, if the prosecution gets its way at November's hearing, he could be back inside for much longer than just 10 months. Back to you.
All right, well, back here in Texas, a Houston man who spent nearly a decade on death row for the deadly shooting of a police officer is now free. Alfred Brown was released yesterday after the district attorney dismissed the charges against him. Brown was on death row for the murder of a Houston police officer, Charles Clark, back in 2003. He was one of 3 men accused in a 2003 robbery at a check cashing business that also claimed the life of another woman.
I truly apologize, even though I didn't do the crime, but I did know the guys that did do the crime.
Brown said he was at his girlfriend's apartment at the time of the crime and made a call from there. Phone records backed up that alibi, but those records were never introduced at trial. Now an appeal was triggered and Brown's conviction was overturned. Hundreds of people marched and rallied last night in McKinney, Texas, calling for an end to police brutality. It was a reaction to a confrontation between police and teenagers at a community pool on Friday. Cell phone video of Friday's incident showed an officer pushing a 15-year-old girl to the ground and pointing his gun at other teens. McKinney's police chief placed the officer on administrative leave while they continue to investigate. And drivers in Ingleside need to be prepared for some traffic delays over the next few weeks. Gulf Marine is hauling some big loads through town. At least one is more than 300 feet long and weighs 1.5 million pounds. In fact, the hauls are so big, crews may have to remove power lines, so some people in the area could also be without power. That outage shouldn't last any longer than an hour. The company is moving the loads from its south yard on FM 2725 over to Oxy on Highway 361. The hauls will continue tomorrow and then start up again on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of next week. And our weather is going to be changing throughout the rest of the week here.
As we get closer to the weekend, the old tropical moisture is rolling back in. Not a bad looking afternoon, although it will be rather warm. We're already in the upper 80s. We should top out at about 92 this afternoon. But it's the tropical showers coming in for the weekend that we'll talk about in just a moment. Rachel?
All right, well, because the temperatures are going up, it's time to ditch the winter boots and slip into some summer sandals. But there are a few things you need to consider before fetching the flip-flops. We'll tell you what they are up next.
This is not a usual pattern for this thing, but that's the way the forecast is laid out right now, so we'll be watching it for you right now.
All right, so enjoy those sunny skies for the next couple of days, and watch out for Carlos.
You bet.
Here are some stories we're following for Chris 6 News. Coming up today at 5, we will have the latest on the Daniel Garcia trial. Hear what officers who were on the scene had to say during testimony. Also new at 6, meet the RTA's biggest fan. He's only 6 years old, but he's got big dreams to drive a bus. Why he's being recognized today. And a new thrill has opened up in South Texas, the new Batman ride. We've got someone here from Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. There she is, folks. Wave hello, and she's going to tell us all about it. Stay close. Welcome back, everyone. With me now is Miss Sydney Purvis with Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. Welcome to Chris 6 Studios,
Thank
young
you
lady.
so much.
Yes, and you are talking to us about a new ride unique from every other, the Batman ride. Tell us about the Batman ride.
Batman the Ride is the world's first 4D free fly coaster. We're the only one to have it on the entire planet. We were very fortunate. It's very innovative. You actually start your journey by going straight up 120-foot elevator style lift hill. Once you're released, you're guaranteed to flip head over heels up to 8 times along the journey. You can see the video there.
And they said there are 2 beyond vertical drops. Okay, because vertical is not enough.
Yes, they're beyond 90-degree drops, which they're called Raven drops in the industry. They swoop in. So it's an entirely new sensation, and it's magnetic technology, actually. Magnetic fins allow you to flip that number of times.
That's right. We saw that you can flip and fly, and as you said, it was over a 12-story hill, drops throughout. It looks amazing. Now, have you had a chance to go on it? Because I know I plan to, but I
will very soon. I ride all the coasters. I had a little injury a bit ago, so I have to wait another month or so, but I will be, after that month, the first one on it.
Very good. And how have fans and roller coaster fans alike been enjoying the ride so far?
They love it. Not only is the sensation entirely different, you have a vest-style restraint, so it's very smooth and comfortable.
Okay.
You have the feeling of weightlessness, plus it's themed after Batman. So as you enter the attraction, you see an actual Batmobile, a hologram, a bat suit. So having that theming in there as well really sets it apart too.
It's like this awesome tour through Gotham City.
Exactly.
We're told. Okay, very good. And we know there are a ton of Batman fans out there, so they're sure to like it. And as you said, they don't necessarily need a bat suit, but they need that Batman level bravery.
Exactly.
Very good. Well, I'm sure that everybody who loves roller coasters is going to be involved. You brought us some knickknacks and goodies here that we're going to get into in a little while. But if you are in the San Antonio area, you definitely want to check out Six Flags Fiesta. I mean, there's the Superman ride, everything.
This is our 9th coaster, so we have a full complement of all different types of coasters. We continue the excellence in live entertainment. We have a couple of new shows that just debuted. We have one that's all about the 80s, 90s, and today. And we have another one called #iPop that's the best of today's hits. We have a free water park included with park admission. We just opened Bahama Blaster last year. That's a tube slide where you slide straight down 90 degrees before you go through either straight or looping tubes. So really, you can stay at Six Flags Fiesta Texas for a couple of days. Enjoy the water park one day. Enjoy the coasters and the rides
There's
another day.
Something for everybody there. So if you are kind of a scaredy cat like I am, you can try out the water park. Although with that slide sounds a little frightening.
Well, really for the entire family. We have kids rides. We have roller coasters, as I indicated in the show. So it's really fabulous.
Very good. Well, check out Batman the Ride if you are in the Six Flagsville, San Antonio area. Batman the Ride. Just go and be a part of that. My goodness. Thank you so much, Sydney, for being here with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Hey, while it's all fun and games out at the beach during summertime, the heat doesn't play well inside your car. What you need to look for if your child is riding in the backseat. Stay close.
Chris 6 News at noon continues.
Well, we all know that wearing high heels can be tough on your feet and can even cause serious injuries. But did you know that wearing flip-flops can also be problematic or even more dangerous? Here's NBC's Chanel Jones with the next step.
There they are.
Yes, I wear them every day. It's easy to go from walking around shopping to straight to the beach. It's simple. It's comfortable.
Flip-flops, once just a beach style, have walked themselves across America. From the sand to the street in Hollywood, we're a nation of flip-flop fanatics.
I have like designer flip-flops and Havaianas. You throw them on, you run out, run your errands, and run back home.
But the carefree comfort may come at a big price. Last year alone, some 25,000 people ended up in the emergency room from flip-flop related injuries, the Consumer Product Safety Commission tells NBC News.
This time of year, I tend to see a lot of people coming in with foot pain and sometimes knee pain because they haven't worn flip-flops all winter long, and then the weather's warm and that's all they wear. When they start doing that, I tend to start seeing problems.
From blisters to bacteria to tripping and posture problems, there are many potential dangers. And if you already have foot pain, you're not alone. Nearly 23% of women say their flip-flops sometimes hurt their feet, according to a recent survey. Experts say many injuries are from having no support in the arch.
Your feet roll in, that can put too much pressure on your tendons, sometimes on your bones, and can cause overuse injuries.
Injuries doctors say that can rise up from your ankles to your knees, your hips, and all the way up to your back. But despite the discomfort and warnings, you don't have to say farewell flip-flops just yet.
I would wear them even though they're not good for you. Guilty as charged.
Getting your muscles used to them a little at a time will go a long way.
Flip-flops are great, but you need to build into them and not just go crazy right away.
For today, Chanel Jones, NBC News, New York.
Well, as the heat of summer bears down on your feet, your kids can also be suffering the backseat of your car. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, heat stroke is the #1 cause of non-car crash related deaths for children ages 14 and under. Notice the signs of heat stroke in your children, like a temperature of 104 degrees or higher, nausea or vomiting, flushed skin, a rapid heart rate, and confusion or strange behavior. And how about this? Your lobster dinner just got more expensive. Lobster prices are rising, with some wholesalers charging $16 a pound. That's up from $12 just a year ago. The reason is that water temperatures in New England haven't warmed up enough after the cold winter for lobster migration inland, and global demand for lobster is skyrocketing, especially from China. There is good news, though. The water should be warm enough by late July or early August, so experts say prices could stabilize later this summer. And speaking of weather, the potential rain is making its way to the forecast. Mac will have a last look coming up after the break. A research librarian at the University of New Brunswick has stumbled on what could be a piece of film history. As an avid science fiction fan, Christian Brown was tasked with digitizing the school's collection of the genre. The assignment, though, became more than a job when Brown laid eyes on something that he couldn't quite believe: an old shooting script titled Saga 1 Star Wars. Marked with the official Lucasfilm Industries stamps, Brown came to realize that it could be an original script for the most popular film in sci-fi history. How about that? And we want to send it to meteorologist Maclovio Perez one last time for a final look at our forecast. Mac?
Leave it right here on 6 and we'll have it all for you.
All right. Thank you, Mac, and thank you all. That's all for now. We appreciate you spending part of your day with us. Be sure to come back for Chris 6 News at 5 with Bart, Stephania, and Dale. We'll see you soon.